Welcome to the Chad G. Ortho OT Podcast. I'm your host, Chad Guerrero. I'm an orthopedic occupational therapist, strength and conditioning coach, sports trainer, and I hold over 40 specialty certifications in manual therapy, orthopedics, and sports medicine. On this podcast, we will discuss everything orthopedic therapy, sports medicine, and more. If you're a therapist, health and fitness professional, or someone just wanting to learn more about the orthopedic and sports medicine world, then this is a podcast for you. Let's get started. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Chad G. Ortho OT Podcast. I'm your host, Chad Guerrero, and today's topic is going to be posture. Right, so that is a question, man, have I gotten that question a lot about posture over the years, and you see all kinds of stuff, right? Like you can watch commercials, and every posture corrector under the sun is on there, and you can go online. And if you've even been talking about posture and your phone hears you, or apparently, then you're going to get all these ads for posture that's going to pop up. And so the question is there really bad posture and good posture? Or, I mean, is that just kind of, what's that term? You know, I think about with posture, kind of like the tires on your car. If your tires are out of alignment a little bit, does your car still go? Well, yeah, but the wear on your tires can be different. You know, if you correct it and you put the tires, you know, too much straight up and down and not enough leaning in or whatever. I'm not a tire expert, but you can overdo it and you can go too much the wrong way and cause, you know, this wear and tear differently on the tire. So a lot of research has been done over the years on posture, what's quote unquote good posture and bad posture. And that's really relative to the person. The biggest thing, what I tell patients is just vary, you know, your posture, vary your positioning. You know, variability and changing is really what seems to be the best thing to do. You know, if your head is forwards a lot and you're kind of hunched over, you know what, periodically go back the other way. But then at the same time, I've had patients that just have a very, you know, straight up and down posture, and even the curvature of the neck on x-ray is not as lordotic. It's not as curved in. It's starting to go back the other way. You know, then that's not good. You're changing the force and pressure that way. So it's one of those things, like just changing your position and varying, you know, how you are, you know, is really the best thing. I mean, by nature, like humans, we're flexion creatures. So like we're flexed forwards, you know, most of the time. We spend a lot of our time bending forwards, bending down, picking something off the floor, reaching forwards. Not a whole lot of time is spent in extension, so leaning back, looking up at the ceiling at full range of motion, you know, those kind of things. So I think you just kind of start thinking to yourself like, oh, well, I've got to be more upright and keep my head pulled back and my shoulders back and all that, and that's better. It's not necessarily better, it's just different. I think you just do a little bit of each one of those just throughout the day and kind of offset it. Add that variability, you know, change that's why we rotate our tires, right? Like, so it wears a little bit one way and we rotate our tires. So it's kind of like rotating your body, I guess, you know, just change that position up to change how the force is transferred and you know, kind of distributed throughout the joints and all that. So anyway, that's my thing on that. And again, I don't think like wearing some kind of posture correction brace, with the exception, I will say this, with the exception, because I did a video, I don't know if I put it on YouTube or TikTok or where it ended up, but there is an exception to that, or there are some exceptions to that. If this is something, you know, scoliosis or surgical, post-surgical brace or something your physician puts you in, you know, of course that's different, and that's a different situation. I just mean, you know, you're like, you know what, I'm tired of hunching over. I'm gonna put this brace on that's gonna passively hold me in a more upright position. Well, you're not making or forcing your muscles to work. You're actually probably going to contribute to the problem, because by wearing this, you know, artificial support, you're encouraging muscles to get weaker. So we didn't really make any headway. That's like wearing an ankle brace, you know, after you have sprain your ankle or something. You wear it for a little while, and you're returning back to your work or your sport or whatever. But eventually, you need to get out of the brace, because you need your body to build its own strength and endurance and neuromotor control ability and how to respond when you're moving through space. So, wearing braces and things like that for very long is not, in my opinion, unless it's medically prescribed by a physician for some reason, it's not really that beneficial. I don't think it's going to correct your forward head posture. Just try to vary that up and change that some and go back the other way. Because again, I've seen people with it go back the other way and then it gets worse. Creates another problem. So, but that's my kind of take on posture and also sleep posture. So, our sleep position. And I did a video on this a while back and was, discussing the sleep position. And, there are some positions that do put some of the joints in a more compromising position, whether that's the shoulder, the neck, the low back, most especially those, especially the shoulder. You lie on your shoulder at night, things like that. So there are some, you can change that up. If you're a side sleeper, you want to be careful because you theoretically could increase your chances of developing some shoulder issues, some shoulder pain, things like that. Then you got a stomach sleeper. If you sleep on your stomach, you got your arm under your pillow and your head turned in like this extension. So your neck and head's turned into like extension and rotation, and you got the arm under the pillow. You could irritate some structures. And I feel like in most cases, that's one of those things like if you already have something going on, you already have some neck pain or you already have a shoulder pain or something or some numbness or tingling going down the fingers or whatever. I kind of feel like that's one of those that's just going to aggravate the problems. It probably is not causing the problem, because there's really not, it can be very hard to completely change how you sleep all night. Because I know when I go to sleep, there's no telling what happens or how I end up or whatever. So I wouldn't get too bogged down in just being super concerned how you should or shouldn't sleep. I mean, you obviously don't want a giant pillow, behind your head to put you this puts you too much in flexion or too much in extension. Everything's relative, and I think everything in a little moderation is okay. It's kind of like if you're eating, right? You're eating something. I mean, you can eat clean and healthy all the time, and I mean, that's okay. But it's not going to kill you, I don't think, if you have a piece of cake or a cupcake or a candy bar or something every now and then. Just a little moderation. It would be okay. And again, I'm not a physician, so if you're diabetic and you're listening to this, do not take my advice on that. Listen to your doctor. In fact, everybody should listen to their primary care person or therapist, whoever they see in person, because this podcast, of course, is for entertainment purposes only. So I hope you're entertained. But like I said, go back to the posture. Overall, sleeping, walking, whatever, just change it up. Don't do so much of one versus the other. Just put that variability in there and you're probably going to be okay. All right. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. I really appreciate all the continued support that I've had, which has been great over all my social media platforms. And this podcast, I've gotten a lot of great feedback on it. As I don't know if that's people being genuine, that they're giving me great feedback or they feel sorry for me or what it is, but I'll take it either way. So, and if you would, please rate me 5 stars wherever you listen to this, and that will greatly help me out a lot. And thank you so much for listening, and you guys have a great day. This podcast is brought to you by Guerrero Rehabilitation, setting the bar for rehabilitative and sports medicine care.